Hello, it is the 14th of July 2023. It's a Friday, a rainy Friday, and I'm reading out of Life as Carola. She's the illegitimate daughter of Lord Griffin. This plays early 16th century, and it is a novel, a book by Joan Grant, who lived from 1907 till 1989. And this is one of her far memory books. She used to remember her previous incarnations, and this is her incarnation as Carola. She is now in her early 20s and she has joined a convent. We are in chapter 20, The Lame Nun. I had been in a solitary cell for 3 days. At first the longing for food tormented me, but though they gave me no water, I did not suffer from thirst, for there had been heavy autumn rains and the walls were slimy with moisture. Sometimes I had to lick the brickwork, but usually by evening enough water for me to drink had collected into a little pool in the corner of the floor. It was the same cell in which Francesca had had her child. I wonder if this was because they knew I had helped her to escape. Perhaps the abbess had only accused me of practicing witchcraft to try to frighten. Was it 3 days or was it 4 since I had seen the lame nun at the door of my own cell? It had been soon after the midnight office. When I had tried to question her, she would not answer, but in silence had beckoned me to follow her. She had seemed contemptuous, yet almost in awe of me. Before leaving me here, she had said, "Your lies are spinning your own shroud, Carola. Why did you talk of witchcraft to the novices? They whisper together, and their whispers have reached the ear of the abbess." "It was only a game to frighten Octavia. She's so stupid." "It is fortunate for you that they are only lies. I thought you might have been prompted by Satan, as once I was. I saw celestial visions, heard music, seemed to fly, but it was Satan who had entered into me. It all happened soon after the old abbess died. I made my recantations, but my possessor was stubborn, and for a time I would not deny what I thought truth. They lamed me for my lies, the lies of Satan's prompting. See, I have 1 foot near to a cloven hoof. From the concealing folds of her habit she thrust out her foot, shrunken, withered up in hideous deformity. Instead of a shoe there was a wooden block, hollowed to hold the rigid ankle to which it was bound by thongs. Yet there was a horror in her lameness greater than mutilated flesh. Pray, Carola, pray to the saints to make you deaf to evil whispers, or you will be proud, as I was proud, and your visions will have such a strong reality that you will think that you can die for them. But pain blinds us to visions. There's always more pain, for they are very subtle. Recant before they cripple you, for surely you will recant at last to bring yourself some ease." She was staring at the wall as though she saw beyond it. She seemed to be waking from a heavy sleep. Then her eyes changed. Now there was not only terror, but hatred in them. "You are a heretic. Already you've made me betray my vow of silence. It must be true that you have practiced witchcraft." With 2 outstretched fingers she made the sign of the inverted cross against me. The sign used to avert the evil eye, 3 times muttering, "Pax Satanica moribunda." Then, seeing I did not heed her incantation, she cringed away, crossing herself. "Ave, ave, ave." I heard her limping away down the passage beyond the locked door. She thought she saw evil in me because she had not had the courage to recognize that within herself she had once possessed a glimpse of the truth which gave her the power to recognize mine. Now she must deny truth to escape from the memory of her own betrayal. She would be more cruel an enemy than even the abbess, for I had made her look into her own heart and see herself no longer as a martyr, but as a coward, no longer a brand snatched from the pyre, but one who had blinded herself with hot arrows for fear of the sun. Since she went, no one had come near me, either to arraign me nor to bring me food. They were foolish if they thought they could starve me until I denied my vision, for their own fasts should have taught them that when the body is weak, it is easier for the spirit to shine through it. I found that I could escape from this cold confine into the sunshine of the past, into a country which, although it was unknown to Carola, I knew to have once belonged to me. I could escape from my chilled body into the warmth of a foreign and yet not alien sun, swim in blue pools amongst the lotuses, hear oarsmen chanting as my gilded barge swept on upriver. And when I returned, it was as though I saw the modern rituals silhouetted against the memory of this old piece, black as the stones of a forgotten graveyard against the pageantry of sunset. And I remembered a voice that I had loved for many thousand years. Fear not to die for what you know to be true. And I had promised to have courage, yet found it difficult to conceive of a time when truth must be defended. Next chapter. Two voices. There was a green light filtering through the grating. The air seemed heavy on me, like water, as if it were trying to drown me. I thought of the captain sinking down through the glaucous cold when the Santa Maria had foundered. His bones would be white among the coral. Perhaps seaweed had rooted in his skull, and silvery fish were flitting through the eye sockets. The bones of his hands would have fallen from each other, lying on the deep ocean sand, like the beads of a broken rosary. I looked down at my own hands. It was long since I had played the little lute, and the fingers had lost the roughness the strings had given them. My hands are subtle with youth. It will be many years before age binds their strength with corded veins. Yet perhaps tomorrow they will not belong to me. Soon they will not be warm with living blood, but colder than the day that folds my shroud. They may be ashes or lie with bones still clenched, as though they tense to hear my body's pain, to bear my body's pain. They will not know the texture of a flower, or feel the sun warmth of an apricot. They will have forgotten all that I taught them, of how to quicken mute strings to melody, or how to plait a wreath to bind your hair from flowers that grow in water meads and woods. God must have known contentment when he made a hand. If it had not been given the subtlety, man could have brought no beauty upon earth. There would have been no paintings, no fretted buildings or embroideries, no marquetry, wrought goldsmith work, or swords. Then it seemed as though I heard a voice saying, "They shall create even as I created, for it is well that all should see that which they build. Though the fruit of beauty is in heaven, the rind of it shall be on earth. I made the mountains, but even they shall carve them. I made the colour under the earth, but man shall find it and blend it into pleasurable patterns. I threaded silver into the fissures of the rocks, but man shall mine it and temper it to music echoing strings to lift up his heart. I made the valleys, but man of his skill shall fashion them to ploughland, so that he and his children may grow strong on the bounty of the earth. They shall wax mighty in my image, until of their own stature they learn simplicity. Then, when they approach my throne, they shall find that they are seated at my right hand, for he that is their father has become brother unto them. It is wise, my children, to create, for just as thy Creator brought thee forth into light, breathing into thy nostrils, taking the clay ceilings from the eyelids, opening thy mouth, so shall thine own creation return into the bosom of thy Father, to become even as I. And when the voice ceased, I was in the stillness of manifold peace, and there was no fear in me, nor any littleness. The light faded, shadows seemed to be folding together like flocks at dusk, gathering intensity, taking on the embodiment of dark life. I heard another voice, a voice smoother than honey, warm with infinite beguilement. I have returned to you, I whom once you knew and loved. Let my wings enfold you in the dark place, in that dark peace. I lay in the arms of a lover. His face was moon-white, his hair dense as the cypress shadows. His eyes were dark fire, his soaring brows winged. Power was set in his forehead like a midnight jewel, and with him came all the beauty of the night, secret and rare. Beauty shall be a carpet for your feet, and I will take you where the jungle seethes with vigorous green, where panthers dark as caverns stalk their prey, and leopards drink at starlit forest pools. We will find valleys set among tall hills like chalices to hold the wine of love, and scarlet lilies glowing in the dusk shall stand as sentinels to our bridal bed. Birds there shall be, with iridescent wings, and moths the purple blue of ripening grapes. A waterfall shall trace its shining path from mountain crest into our secret vale, where languorous ferns unfurl their heavy fronds to shield your beauty from the envious moon. There will I feel you on sweet memory, and with my mouth pledge you 1,000 loves in timeless amount of keen ecstasy. You knew a young magnificent as fire. You knew a youth magnificent as fire, and he shall return to kindle your cool flesh. You knew a love relentless as the tide, and as a beach. So shall you be engulfed in passion more profound than ocean depths. Then will he leave you, virginal and smooth, but to return to woo you yet again. Through me you are born again into man's praise. You shall wear beauty like a jasmine wreath. Poets shall set a new word upon their page when they phrase beauty, and it shall be your name. And you shall sing as no other voice has sung, with all the crystal harmonies of dreams. You shall have craftsmen's fingers, then will I give you one. You shall have craftsmen's fingers, then will I give you ores and precious stones to bring alive as goldsmiths' miracles. And you shall limn your collars on the wall to make a place of painters' pilgrimage, who, seeing it, will think not only you, but they have become visionary through your clear eyes. You once have ruled, and we, who have tasted power, find other food as dust upon our tongues. Come, I will crown you with my midnight plumes to sit in judgment on a basalt throne. There shall be temples honored to your name, and sacred rams, black kids, and mighty bulls shall stream their blood upon your altars. You shall protest those in our fealty, and scour their energies with pestilence, and down our fire to cleanse the fallow fields, and from their ashes then shall our corn spring. Listen, I will watch you to destroy. See, I will stand beside you at the door, and when they seek to mutilate your flesh, then shall they see me, then shall I slay them down. You shall wear my black armor, stronger than fiery onslaughts of the sun. At your command my armies shall draw sword, and in their van we both shall ride the wind. Why are you silent? You turn away your eyes. Dare you not see your destiny in mine? Is there sheep's milk in your veins instead of blood? Do you still thirst for water instead of wine, and feed the cold winds and eternity through the warm darkness of my supple wings. On that other journey you will walk alone. Your sandaled feet tread solitary dust. To where? To gain humility and feel your brow pierced by a crown of thorns. Shall I look down and laugh to see you there, or will you be beside me on the heights and see below us hosts of little men, as white and blind as maggots in a corpse, who had not the courage to look into my eyes? You are still silent. Must I command the obedience with my whips? Fear, pain, distrust, despair of all you should feel. Then, like tapestry of woven light, I saw the vision of the other eyes. In him had been embodied my past days, when I had walked triumphantly in shade. It was not Lucifer whom I had seen, but I, the I that Carola must help destroy, the I of the pride, the I of love for power, the I that is the forgetting of the I. And yet more radiant from the eternal light, I heard the voice of my companions. Follow the jackal trail, though it shall lead you through parched deserts where no water springs, although you may have to climb those barren hills where thorns assail you, and the pitiless scourge of your own weakness. Leave not the jackal trail, follow it to the other end, where you can still hear the word. And Carola refused that burnished lust, when flesh has been distilled to ecstasy. The road of power wielded against the light, the blindness of fate worship, the leaden crown of temporal ambitions, and that more subtle increase, man's praise for skill. My ransom failed. I was alone again, a grid with muffled thoughts, shut in with flesh. Carola, who was afraid of pain. I'll stop this here. Next one is called arrangement.